I'm going to start this video backwards, which is fitting because that's exactly how I uncovered what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to give you the 3 treats first, right now, no buildup, no suspense. Then I'm going to show you the trail of evidence that led me to them, and by the end, you're going to understand why the pet treat industry is praying you never watch this video. The 3 treats destroying your dog's kidneys are sweet potato chews, dental sticks with the VOHC seal that you've been told to trust, and premium jerky treats, especially the ones marketed as single ingredient or grain-free. Check your cupboard right now. I'll bet money at least one of those is in there. And if your dog has been eating any of them daily for more than 6 months, we need to talk about their kidney function immediately. My name is Colin Will. I'm a veterinarian, but I'm also someone who made a career-ending mistake last year. I told the truth at a veterinary conference about what I'd found in treat manufacturing facilities, and within 3 weeks, 2 corporate sponsors dropped me. Within 2 months, I'd been quietly uninvited from a speaking panel I'd been on for 4 years. The message was clear: shut up about the treats or lose your platform. So I'm going to tell you what happened, and you can decide who you trust. It started 11 months ago with a dog named Rusty. Rusty was a 6-year-old Cocker Spaniel whose owner, Patricia, brought him in because he'd started drinking water like he'd just crossed the Sahara. Excessive thirst in a middle-aged dog means one of 3 things: diabetes, Cushing's disease, or kidney disease. We ran blood work. His glucose was normal. His cortisol was normal, but his kidney values were catastrophic. His creatinine was 4.8. Anything over 2.4 is kidney failure. His BUN was 91. Normal is 7 to 27. Rusty's kidneys were operating at maybe 30% capacity. Patricia kept saying, "I don't understand. He eats the best food. He only gets healthy treats." And that word, treats, stuck in my head like a splinter. I asked what she gave him. She pulled out her phone and showed me her pantry. Top shelf, organic sweet potato chews. Middle shelf, dental sticks with the VOHC seal. Bottom shelf, single ingredient chicken jerky that cost $42 with a picture of a happy farm on the front. 3 years, every single day. Now, most vets would have nodded sympathetically, put Rusty on a kidney diet, and chalked it up to bad genetics. But I'd been seeing a pattern. In the previous 6 months, I diagnosed 8 cases of kidney disease in dogs under 8 years old. 8. Kidney disease is supposed to be a geriatric condition. So I did something vets don't usually do. I called all 8 owners and asked detailed questions about treats. 7 out of 8 were giving daily sweet potato chews. 6 out of 8 were using dental sticks. 5 out of 8 were giving jerky. I called a friend, another vet named Marcus, who works in food safety consulting and used to inspect manufacturing facilities for the FDA. I asked him, if you were going to hide something dangerous in a dog treat, how would you do it? He laughed, but it had no humor in it. He said, "Colin, I wouldn't have to hide anything. The regulations for pet treats are so weak that I could legally put almost anything in there as long as I called it a processing aid or a preservative. Nobody's checking." That conversation led to a 6-month deep dive that made me question why I ever trusted this industry. Let me walk you through what I found, treat by treat. Sweet potatoes are healthy, right? They're a whole food. If you baked one at home and gave your dog a slice, that would be perfectly fine. But that is not what's in the bag. Commercial sweet potato chews are made by dehydrating sweet potatoes at extremely high temperatures to make them shelf-stable and chewy. When you dehydrate starchy vegetables at high heat, you concentrate everything in them, including naturally occurring compounds called oxalates. Oxalates bind to calcium in the body and form calcium oxalate crystals. Where do those crystals form? In the kidneys. A dog eating 1 sweet potato chew a week is probably fine, but the bags recommend 2 to 3 chews per day, marketed as a healthy, everyday snack. If your dog eats them daily for years, you're creating a chronic oxalate overload. The kidneys constantly try to filter these crystals. Over time, they cause microscopic damage to kidney tubules. Scar tissue forms, kidney function declines, and by the time it shows up on blood work, 75% of kidney function is already gone. But it gets worse. I sent samples of 3 top-selling sweet potato chew brands to an independent lab. All 3 contained sodium metabisulfite, a preservative that prevents browning. The concentration was 8 to 14 times higher than what's considered safe for human food, adjusted for body weight. Sodium metabisulfite is metabolized by the kidneys. High doses over long periods cause oxidative stress to kidney cells. So you have a treat naturally high in kidney-damaging oxalates, pumped full of a kidney-toxic preservative, marketed as healthy and sold in the organic section. I confronted a pet treat company representative about this at a trade show. I showed him the lab analysis. His response? The product is designed for palatability and shelf life. Kidney effects are only seen in cases of chronic overuse, and we can't control how much consumers give their dogs. Translation: we know it's harmful if you follow our feeding recommendations, but that's your problem. Now let's talk about dental sticks, and this is where I'm going to make some enemies, because I'm about to tell you that the VOHC seal you've been taught to trust is not what you think it is. The Veterinary Oral Health Council evaluates pet products for dental efficacy. If a product has the VOHC seal, studies have shown it reduces plaque or tartar. Your vet probably recommended these. I recommended them for years. But here's what nobody tells you. The VOHC approval process only evaluates dental effectiveness. It does not evaluate long-term organ safety. A product can be proven to reduce plaque and still be toxic to the kidneys, and it will still get the VOHC seal. Almost all top-selling VOHC-approved dental sticks contain sodium hexametaphosphate, a chemical chelating agent that binds to calcium in saliva and prevents tartar. It works, but sodium hexametaphosphate is also a phosphate salt. High phosphate intake is one of the most damaging things you can do to compromised kidneys. Most people give these daily, as directed. And here's the problem. Kidney disease is silent until it's advanced. A dog can lose 50% of kidney function and still have completely normal blood work. So you're giving your dog a daily phosphate dose, assuming their kidneys are perfect, but you don't actually know. I found a study, not funded by pet treat companies, that looked at dogs given dental chews containing sodium hexametaphosphate daily for 2 years. 18% showed a statistically significant decline in kidney function, nearly 1 in 5 dogs. This study was buried in a small veterinary journal most practitioners never read. But the real scandal with dental sticks isn't even the phosphates. Most dental sticks are 20 to 35% glycerin by weight. Glycerin is metabolized into glucose. If your dog eats a treat that's 1/3 glycerin every day, they're getting a daily sugar bomb. Chronic elevated blood sugar contributes to insulin resistance and kidney damage through a process called glycosylation, where sugar molecules attach to kidney proteins and damage them. I asked a veterinary nephrologist, a kidney specialist, what she thought about daily dental sticks off the record. She said, "I would never give them to my own dog. The phosphate load and glycerin content are a perfect storm for kidney stress. But if I said that publicly, I'd lose my consulting contracts with the pet food companies." A board-certified specialist, afraid to tell you the truth because it would cost her money. Now let's talk about jerky treats, and this one is going to hurt, because I know many of you have spent a fortune on premium single-ingredient jerky thinking you were doing the right thing. You avoided cheap imported jerky after the recalls. You bought expensive domestic jerky with grass-fed claims. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. The problem isn't where it's made. The problem is how it's made. To make jerky shelf-stable for months without refrigeration, manufacturers use preservatives. The most common are BHA, BHT, and ethoxyquin. All three are synthetic antioxidants that prevent fat from going rancid. BHA is classified as a possible human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Ethoxyquin was banned from human food in Europe, but all three are still legal in pet treats in the United States. When I tested jerky treats, even premium ones, I found BHA in 70% of them. Even brands advertising no artificial preservatives had BHA. How? Because of the supplier exemption. If the manufacturer buys pre-preserved meat from a supplier, they don't have to list those preservatives on their label. The bag says chicken, nothing else, but the chicken was already treated with BHA before it arrived at the factory. It's legal, it's deceptive, and it's everywhere. BHA is metabolized by the liver and kidneys. Chronic exposure causes oxidative stress and cellular damage. In animal studies, high doses caused kidney lesions and tumors. The industry will tell you the doses in treats are too low to cause harm, but those claims are based on short-term exposure. Nobody has studied what happens when a dog eats BHA-preserved jerky every day for 5, 6, 7 years. We're conducting that experiment on your dog in real time. Even without preservatives, jerky is pure concentrated protein. High-protein diets force the kidneys to work harder filtering nitrogen waste. In a healthy dog, this is fine, but if your dog has any underlying kidney compromise, Even subclinical damage not yet showing on bloodwork, daily jerky is accelerating the decline. Last month, a 9-year-old Labrador named Duke came in with a creatinine of 3.1. His owner, Steven, a health-conscious bodybuilder, fed Duke premium grain-free kibble and 4 ounces of single-ingredient beef jerky daily. When I calculated Duke's total daily protein intake, it was almost double what Duke needed. Steven had been protein-loading his dog like he protein-loaded himself, and Duke's kidneys couldn't handle it. I compiled all of this, the oxalates in sweet potato chews, the phosphates in dental sticks, the hidden preservatives in jerky, and presented it at a regional veterinary conference. I titled it, Treat-Induced Nephrotoxicity, the Epidemic We're Ignoring. I showed the lab results, the case studies, the industry loopholes. I ended by saying, we need to stop recommending these products until we have long-term safety data. The room was silent. 3 vets came up privately afterward and said they'd seen the same patterns but were afraid to speak up. 2 told me I was fear-mongering. Within a week, a pet nutrition company ended their research partnership with me. A month later, another sponsor dropped me. But 2 weeks ago, I got an email from Patricia. After our conversation, she'd stopped all treats and switched Rusty to a renal support diet with fresh whole food snacks. Rusty's creatinine dropped from 4.8 to 3.1. His BUN dropped from 91 to 56. His kidneys are still damaged, but they're healing. Patricia wrote, "You saved his life by telling me the truth nobody else would." That email is worth more to me than any corporate sponsorship. Go to your cupboard right now. Take out every bag of treats. Read the ingredient list. If you see sweet potato, throw it out. If you see sodium hexametaphosphate or glycerin in the first 5 ingredients, throw it out. If it's jerky and it doesn't explicitly state no preservatives with third-party testing to prove it, throw it out. I don't care if you just bought it. I don't care if it cost $40. Your dog's kidneys are worth more. Replace those treats with whole foods. Baby carrots, blueberries, small pieces of cooked unseasoned chicken or turkey, apple slices without the seeds, frozen green beans. These are real treats. They're safe. They cost a fraction of what you're spending on processed garbage in a shiny bag. And if your dog is over 5 years old or has been eating any of these 3 treats daily for more than a year, schedule blood work immediately. Ask your vet for a full chemistry panel that includes kidney values. Don't wait for symptoms. By the time your dog shows signs of kidney disease, most of the damage is already done. I know some of you are angry right now. You're angry at me for telling you that the treats you've been giving with love are harmful. Redirect that anger. Be angry at the companies that prioritize profit over safety. Be angry at the lack of regulation that lets them hide preservatives and make misleading claims. Be angry at a system that punishes vets for telling the truth. Then take that anger and do something with it. I'm Colin Will, and I just ended what's left of my corporate relationships by making this video. But if it saves 1 dog from kidney failure, it was worth it. Hit subscribe if you want more truth the industry doesn't want you to hear. Leave a comment telling me what treats you just threw out. And go hug your dog because they trust you to make the right choice, even when it's the hard one. Now go clean out your cupboard.